stand to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up on the agenda are announcements. First is Jerry Monahan, and I'm going to be the liaison for the ad hoc off-leash area today.
Thank you.
Next, we're trying something new with the daily report, where the agendas are actually put in the daily report itself. They're going to be at the bottom, so you can go down and actually see what the agendas are. Maybe you can
I got it.
Thank you, Cynthia. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I'll start over again. So the agendas will now be posted in the daily report itself, so you can see the agendas for the committee meetings as they come up, and also for the board meeting. You'll still be able to click on the link and get the PDF if you want to download that, but we'll make it easier so that you can see that in the actual daily report. So please sign up for that if you have not already. And then my monthly announcement to please slow down. And that's all I have for announcements. So first up is homeowner input. As a reminder, it's limited to 3 minutes per homeowner, and only one request to speak form may be submitted per homeowner. There will be no sharing or passing of time to another person. Homeowner input may be held for a maximum period of 30 minutes before the board meeting begins to allow the board to proceed with the business portion of the meeting. This portion of the meeting is limited to board participation only. Residents are welcome and encouraged to stay for the full meeting to witness the business declaration taking place by your governing agency. And first is Gloria Johnson.
Can you hear me? Yes. Good, thank you. This is in regards to the Conservancy. I think it will be in a very short time that the Conservancy will be turned over to the HOA. And before that is done, I request from the board that we have a town hall meeting to answer some of the following questions. Because once the HOA takes over, we actually have no control over the Conservancy. Other agencies will tell this HOA what they need to do in terms of trash removal, fencing, irrigation, erosion control, and repair. And also, there will have to be a quarterly inspection by an approved biologist at the cost to the HOA. So, before we turn it over to the HOA, can we please have a town hall meeting so that you address the possibility of the HOA's use being increased? Will there be any possibility of the HOA special assessment? And are there other alternatives to taking over this Conservancy? Because it looks like in the future it could be quite an expense. At present, the Conservancy has a lot of dead underbrush, a lot of dead vegetation, and a lot of dead tree branches. This may be okay if we would be out in the wilderness, but this area is in the middle of our community, and we have a lot of homes right behind it. So again, before you assume the responsibility, homeowners need to be fully informed as to the cost and the responsibilities. The other issue, very briefly, is last Monday's meeting. Again, the cost factor for trimming trees came up, that we really don't have the money to trim trees according to the 20-foot standard. My question is, we have exorbitant amount of money spent for tree trimming, but then why do we keep planting more pine trees in areas that already have so many pine trees and other trees in those areas? I can tell you about 40 pine trees that were planted within the last 4 years. 40 pine trees, where you already have a lot of trees in those areas. Just a question. Thank you.
Gloria. Next is Kirk. I'm gonna.
Just like it sounds.
Okay. Frederick Smith, or Frederick? You know who you are.
Hello, my name is Kurt Crosby, and I'm the guy of 256 Wild Code. I want to speak about the facilities guest proposal that restricts the number of guests for group activities. I have lived in Fort St. Tacoma for only 2 months, but I have found this community to provide a great place to live. I sense, however, that there are those in the community who would like to see us shut ourselves off from the outside world. This proposal appears to advance that view. But why would we not want to welcome residents from other 55-plus CIDs here in Cherry Valley, such as Sun Lakes, Solera, and the new Altus? I believe this proposal is a mistake for 2 reasons. First, it's not practical. Suppose I had invited my parents or my brother and sister to visit and there's an event such as a production or a wine tasting. Under this proposal, I could take my sister-in-law, but my brother would have to stay home. Does this make any sense? Second, the proposal is capricious. Why are only group activities targeted? Why not restrict the use of all facilities to just 1 guest per resident? For example, allow only 1 grandchild to accompany a resident grandparent to use the swimming pool and prohibit the child's non-resident parent from being present. I've heard the argument that we need to restrict non-resident group members because of wear and tear on and damage to the facilities. Who is more likely to cause damage? A senior resident from one of the surrounding 55-plus CIDs who care about a 55-plus CID, or a band of youngsters who do not?
Thank you, Kirk. Next is Ted Moore.
My name is Ted Moore. I live on 327 Shining Rock. I live in a beautiful area. The back of my house faces west over the hillside. Got one problem though. We have a problem with weeds growing up behind the house, and we should have better weed abatement. Now, I noticed that when you do cut the weeds in the back there, they leave some of the bushes there because they have flowers on them. And those bushes are pretty, I understand. But they say that a weed is a misplaced flower. I think we need to be a little more careful about the weed abatement that we have behind our homes there, like where we live. Some of the insurance companies, they see these and they'll drop you. I know there's been at least one resident there along that side that has been dropped by an insurance company because they see the not sufficient weed abatement going on. I really would like to have a little better job in the weed abatement, cleaning the weeds, keep from fire, if there is fire coming up from the west there, from jumping and hitting our homes. I just wish it was something that the board of directors would look into, a little better weed abatement. Thank you.
Next is Joe Sanella.
I'm here today to talk about replacing our 8-foot tables with 9-foot tables in the billiard room. The issue is our tables are not regulation size. 9-foot tables are the industry standard in billiard play. We have outlined 2 proposals for review, one representing the purchase of new tables for billiard room, the second proposal representing the purchase of pre-owned tables for the billiard room. Upgrading the billiard room equipment to actual industry standards will significantly improve our billiard play at our facility. It will bring us up to billiard room standards with our surrounding developments such as Sun City, Sun Lake, Solera, and Hemet, just to mention a few. Not only that, I believe that we should be entitled to have a regulation pool table in our complex, since everything else here is regulation, whether it's tennis, pickleball, shuffleboard, and so on. We have checked on some prices of buying tables, retail tables that we were looking at, we run $6,775 each, with tax for four, will run $29,404. At this point in time, Sun City and Palm Desert currently has 8 9-foot tables for sale. They're pre-owned and a 1 to 10 rating, 10 being the best. They're about a 7.5 to 8. These tables have new cloth on them, and we can get these tables for $750 each, plus $260 per set. The total cost for 4 tables of $4,040. I think that upgrading the tables will not only benefit us, but when we play against the other communities around here, we will not be at a disadvantage as we usually are coming from an 8-foot table going to a 9-foot table. So I came here today, we went to the facilities meetings yesterday. They asked me to come here and ask that you would send out a survey as soon as possible, because the window to purchase these tables is only a couple months. And the quicker the better, that we get the survey out and get a response. Thank you.
Next is Barbara Gordon.
A week ago Thursday, as I was outside watering at about 6:15 a.m., I observed a homeowner driving down Four Seasons Circle at 62 miles per hour. That is ridiculous. I know this because I can see the speed sign from my house. I am requesting the board and the safety committee to take action to stop this ridiculous speeding that continues to be a problem here at Four Seasons. One solution to help solve the problem would be to put a stop sign at the intersection of White Sands and Four Seasons, like they have already installed at Slippery Rock and Four Seasons. Granted, you are coming around a slight curve, but you have the same situation at Slippery Rock. Something must be done before someone gets seriously injured or killed. It could have been very easily for this car to go out of control and hit a walker on the sidewalk. My other situation is regarding the common area trees growing higher than the 20 feet and not maintained lower. Have the landscapers cut back the trees to 15 feet and every couple of years maintain the cutting. Yes, it will be a big project, but once it is done, it will be easier to maintain. I do know that you cannot top pine trees, but you can top the others. I have a friend that has paid $175,000 extra for their house for a view. And with these trees growing in the common area, it does not help on the view. We couldn't even see the fireworks. Thank you.
Last is Linda Federoff.
Hello. My name is Linda Federoff. My husband and I, Jack, purchased a home in 2015. We live at 383 Arroyo. We came out to Four Seasons, went through all the models, looked at all of them. We decided which model we liked, and luckily there were 7 available at that time. in our phase, and she took us out to look at them. So the reason that we came to Four Seasons was for a view. We were sold a view lot and paid a lot premium for that view to the tune of $70,000. We reviewed the CCNRs, looked at the view, picked our house. There were 7 rosettes for sale. 4 of them were on the street without a view, which is Coronado and Edgebrook. And then we have 3 on Arroyo that were, or I'm sorry, 4 on Arroyo that paid the lot premium for that view. So when you say that these lots were not sold as view lots, that is not true. We bought a view lot and paid a lot premium, so we're very passionate about protecting that. Now, that being said, we are high and people think that we won't be affected by that. If at some point the association decides to plant something on the side of that hill, that would block part of our view. That's not why we moved here. So we're comparing apples to apples on the houses. That it was the exact same model. There's a price difference of anywhere from $70,000 to $85,000. We pay taxes on that extra money. We pay a mortgage on that extra money. And our concern is that if we do away with Exhibit F, that is going to open us up to a whole other mess, which is, neighbor against neighbor, lawsuits against the association. You guys have done an incredible job of keeping this a beautiful place. We love it here. Friends with some of you, but it still is a matter of, it's a principal issue. It might be an issue with KHOF. They are the ones who sold us that. I have the appraisal from KHAM. Their appraiser came out. He's a certified appraiser, a BREEA appraiser in the state of California. He came out and checked box B. We have a location view lot, and I have the appraisal. I have the picture of our view. I want to keep it like that. I don't want to planting anything around my home that's going to obstruct my view. I'm not saying you in particular, but anyone. So it's a big thing for us. My other question is, well, my time's up, so I guess I'd have to ask them later. Thank you.
With no other homeowner requests to speak, we'll be moving along with the agenda. Next up is the consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to make a single motion to approve all included items. If for a particular reason the item needs to be discussed or pulled from the consent calendar, then a call to approve that item should be made by board member. In the consent calendar are the open session minutes from September 13th and September 17th of this year. The financial report of the August 2018 financial statements. The approval of liens is one lien for account number BE-6310-0098-01 in the amount of $2,024.70. There were no group application requests, and there were 4 homeowner facility use requests. One for November 17th for birthday party, one for December 2nd for this year, also for birthday party, one for January 6th, 2019 for birthday baby shower, and for May 8th, the student of the month presentation.
I think the dates need to be changed on that, 2019.
Correct, January 6th, 2019, and May 8th, 2019. For items 3 and 4. The other 2 are in this week.
I make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Next is the report on the executive session or action taken between meetings. There is an executive session held today. There was a scheduled executive session earlier this week, but that was canceled, so the only executive session was today's. The board reviewed 6 delinquencies. We discussed the 2 homeowners, any violations, the contracts. They reviewed the insurance for a premium of $75,000 for the year, and a fitness maintenance contract at $6,000 for the year. They reviewed legal issues and personnel. Next on the agenda, they are committee reports. First is the ad hoc operation area.
Good afternoon, board. It's nice to be back up here, I think. I'm Martha Baumgarten, I'm chairing the ad hoc Healthy Area Rules Committee, and our co-chairperson is actually Jan Bushman. I'm going to kind of follow along here. We have submitted today to legal counsel for review a package that contains a draft of an application for use of the facility and the requirements for approval of that application. It's very detailed, and we're still waiting to hear back from legal counsel on that. It also includes just, for information, an acknowledgement on the part of the dog owner who would be using this facility that they accept and will abide by all the rules, as well as the consequences, specific consequences for failing to follow those rules. They also include really detailed, there are 23 rules at this time. They're very detailed. There's part of that would hypothetically go into the community guidelines. And there's an abridged version that will go onto any signage in the facility itself. Planned and in progress, we have a draft of a why document. Ever wonder how some of the rules here got to be rules and why they are there? Who do they protect? Why do they protect them? These rules are being designed to protect every person in this community. They're being designed to protect the animals that will be in that facility. They're being designed to protect the people who bring their animals into that facility. So each one of those has a very logical, fact-based, well-researched foundation. Some people aren't going to like rules. Some people are going to love the rules. But we want everybody to know how thoroughly researched they have been and what the rationale was for implementing or suggesting, recommending that rule. So there will be a why document that goes with that. We want to have some facts about the facility, which is something that is under development. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet. We want to have courtesy and etiquette. Not everything is going to be a rule, but there are some courtesy and etiquette things that need to be thought about. Users need to contemplate it in the facility. And then we're working on an outline for a seminar that will be required of all applicants before they can have access to the facility. Of course, this is all in proposal stages. We're not even sure exactly what's going to happen with the canine corral. But we're going to be ready when it does. We're very excited at our last meeting. When was the last time committee chairs you had 14 guests at a committee meeting? We were absolutely thrilled, and on top of that, we had 9 applicants to join the committee. I'm not sure if that happens all the time, but not my experience working with committees. So we're very thrilled with the participation. The folks who came had a lot of wonderful insight. We got feedback from them that indicated that they learned a lot. And so we do invite anybody to come to the meetings. Our next meeting is going to be this coming Monday the 15th at 10 a.m. in the RCN boardroom. Thank you. Thanks, board.
Thank you, Martha.
History document was right here. We had a number of guests. We had 12 new applications submitted, 11 were approved. The one that was not approved was a matter of we didn't have adequate information and we couldn't reach the homeowner. We tried to telephone them, if they're not there in this situation, unfortunately we're unable to reach them. It's my understanding that that information was received and it will appear on our next meeting. Addendums. The same thing, we had 34 addendums and 31 were approved. And Exhibit A, we had 1. And Exhibit C, 24-20. Now, I'm sure I see some people crossing over. New applications. This is an application that comes in for the first landscaping. New homes, new homeowners, that's what they are. Addendums, that's whenever somebody wants to change something in their landscaping, the house color or something like that. They're considered addendums because they're coming after that initial has been done. And Exhibit A is something we put in probably a year ago that allows people to do the things that they need immediately. Most often, it's a satellite dish. We found that there were a lot of problems with people who move in. They miss the deadline for getting an initial application in, and so they sit there with no TV, no satellite, whatever. And so that's a new process that was put in through the process, so that day one you move in, you can have TV, telephone, whatever. Exhibit C's, again, is whenever the project's completed, they turn it in with photos and whatever, showing what they've done, and we just make a quick check to make sure that what they said they would do is what get done. So that's the technicalities of what those are. We meet the first and third Wednesday of every month. We'd love anybody with a question that come and see what we do. If you just want some guidance, if you want to understand what's happening, we'd be glad to see you. We're open, and we meet in the RNC conference room a little bit early, but I know half our community is up and running when the sun comes up, so it's like hang around a little bit. So that's the Architectural Committee. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is the Breeze editorial board.
Hi, I'm Lori Larson, Chair of the editorial board. I get up here every month and say the exact same thing. I was thinking maybe I could stand on my hill and make it a little more interesting. But we put all of our really good stuff into the piece. We have 8 members. We are always interested in getting new members who could join us and add. Everybody that comes in and sits in a meeting adds something. We're always very impressed with our visitors. Again, we need people with grammar and spelling skills, people who enjoy a challenge, who want to share and to have others appreciate their creativity, and who like working individually and as part of a team, which is what we do. We did start a new column last month, and we got some submissions this month about why I love my club, group, or class. And we're inviting people to write just a short 100-word blurb that we will put in the brief so that we can get positivity in here. Not everybody who writes for the Breeze is a member of our board. So if you want to write a column or you have an idea for an article, you can come and pitch it to us. We do have a number of people who who are not on the editorial board. And it's in dark letters. We've been asked by the board to produce the first yearly insert or publication, which will memorialize the significant activities that have taken place here in Four Seasons. So we're not quite sure how we're going to proceed with the setup and go forth, but I would like to have a challenge with Martha. And if I could get 14 people and 9 new people who want to come and help us, or 10. Anyway, if you have any experience with producing an annual or a yearbook, we would really love to have you come and meet with us. You can be an editorial board member and serve on a committee. And we have 2 meetings a month, the first Wednesday of every month at 10 o'clock, and the 10th of every month when we do our meeting. Now, we're in the RCN, the room moves from month to month, but we're there, you can find us. Thanks.
Next word. Next is the Communications Committee, Sandra.
Good afternoon. I missed our last meeting. I was out of town, and so I thought I would present today some data that we were able to get from our analytics on our website. As you know, our Communications Committee main function is our Four Seasons 12-month website. Monthly analytics for the month of September, we had 2,095 views. We don't know who you are, but we know there were 2,000. Most people who viewed the largest numbers of sites viewed were the resident directory, followed by the movie schedule. So the hits also showed that people looked on our website to see Smitty's Bistro,
the news, the community information, do a site search, look at the important phone numbers, and look at the breeds, because we do have all of the breeds issues on the website. Our users are nearly evenly split, PC 40%, Mac 46%, so we can tell that information. So we are able to continually look at the analytics to see what is popular with our website, what's not being looked at, and try to use some of that input as input for what we're developing. We're currently working on a movie request form which can be submitted online. We've had requests from residents to make it easier to submit movie requests and trying to figure out the best way to do that, where you could just fill it out and submit it on the website. So with that, the committee does welcome ideas and suggestions from the residents on how they would like to use the website, how it would best serve their needs. And we have monthly meetings, as you can see, the third Wednesday of the month at 10 o'clock in the RCN. And you're all welcome to come and talk to us about how we can improve our website or any other ideas you might have.
Exactly. Next is the Community Planning and Transition Committee. Tom?
Hi, Colin Taylor, Chair of the Community Planning and Transition Committee. We held a very successful meeting with the Beaumont City Planning and Fire Departments. We had drawn up potential expansion plans that we might want to do in the medium and long term expansion of various parts of the lodge and other areas. And we wanted to check with the planning department that it's consistent with city planning. That was a very positive response. There was no conflict between what we might want to do here and what planning and fire department would allow. Now, obviously, we still have to meet all building codes and that kind of thing, but there are no fundamental conflicts, which was very good news. The things that we might want to do in the real long term. We're still waiting for gas company approval for the dog park, but I'm sure any day now Eric's going to get good news. We had a set of plans for storage out by the swimming pool and pool equipment area. Those initial cost estimates came in higher than we wanted. So with the input we got from Beaumont City, we're now looking at some alternatives that I think will give a much better cost effectiveness. And the same with the amphitheater plans. Those costs were coming in higher than we wanted. So we're looking at other alternatives there that will be, I think, a lot more cost effective. We meet every month. The next meeting is Thursday, October 25th, 9 a.m. in Rexham North. Anybody's welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. Next is the Emergency Planning Committee. Mike?
Mike Mendoza, Emergency Preparedness Committee Chair. EPC has submitted Alfred Blair's proposals for recognition and reimbursement to the board. One was for the labeling of the RCN conference room door. The other one was for donating clocks to the radio room POC and reimbursement for a battery to run the emergency light card. My October Breeze article reminds folks to review their evacuation kits. And in lieu of utilizing space that we really don't have, I've been trying to utilize the message board. It'll come up probably next month across from the pool room. We'll have quick EPC reminders on it. That's one or two sentences to remind people about things about emergency preparedness that they need to know. My November Breeze article is about CERT. Unfortunately, we had a kind of unfortunate incident, and I was awakened out of my afternoon nap. Somebody said, "We need help. We need help. You know, we need CERT people to go out and search for somebody." I said, "We don't have a CERT committee right now. I think we have probably over 100 people that are CERT trained, but I would like to go and try to start a survey, either through SurveyMonkey, or I'd like to work with Mrs. Lewis and some of the neighborhood watch, and maybe we could poll some of the neighbors and find out their CERT qualifications and whether they're willing to work with us. And we're always looking for new members. Our next meeting is Tuesday, the 16th at 10 a.m. in the RCA conference room. Anyone wishing to come join us, come with your ideas and good cheer. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Next, we have the Facilities Committee. Bruce?
Good afternoon, Bruce Lewis, Chair of the Facilities Committee. We have a proposal to replace some broken and worn roller shades at the lodge and the spa buildings that will be presented today. Also, the floor in the fitness room or in the gym in the spa building was in need of replacement. We also have a proposal to replace that presented to you today. And we meet on the second Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. And we're also looking for several members and anyone who wishes to serve in the community. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Barry Giannetti, the Finance Committee. Show me the money, right? That's what we always we're interested in. As you can see, our financials are pretty stable, and it really holds, they're stable right now because of the reallocation of the HOA fee that we did in June that we recommended the board approved. It's a temporary fix, but it has done what we wanted. If you look at the net income up there, we only had that's a slight loss for the whole year to date. We were tracking at about a $25,000, $30,000 net income loss prior to that per month. So by shifting that around, we've covered it. But it leaves us with some real work. The committee right now is preparing the budget recommendation to the board. We've taken the one that's handed to us, we've looked at it, we've massaged it. So we will be reviewing that finally at our meeting in October on the 30th, Tuesday the 30th, and presenting it to the board. Keeping in mind that along with that, we will be recommending the potential to have an effect on the HOA fee. And everybody here has to be honest. Unless you only breathe, everything else you do has cost more in the last year and the year before. The only thing they haven't been able to figure out is how to tax us for our air. So our costs have gone up, and that's one of the reasons the budget has been like it is, why it has shown that kind of decrease. Yeah, part of it is we have more common property than we have homeowners right now to care for, but it's not the total difference. It's really our costs have gone up, labor, utility costs, and everything. So we'll be looking at that and making a recommendation. Other than that, our next meeting is October 30th. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Landscape is next.
Lynette Simons, the Landscape Committee. As you can see, we had finally selected the trees that we want to plant on Trail D, and they have arrived. So the committee will be looking at them to make sure that we're placing them the way that will be most effective. In looking at Trail D, it's a different kind of a trail, and it's been quite barren, except that it has a long, huge slope on the west side, and no trees in back of the actual homes. None of the trees will be placed in back of the homes on Trail D. They will all be planted a little bit below the slope so that that nice wide trail will remain its full width. And we've also considered the effect and impact of the trees on the homeowners that are adjacent to Trail D, as well as those at the top of the slope. So they will be looked at by the committee again to make sure we want them planted the way we have it envisioned. We expect it to be a pretty popular trail once they get some growth in 3 to 5 years. By the end of October, we will probably be doing our walks at 8 a.m. rather than 7:30 a.m. Weather's already getting cooler today, and dawn is later. And Finance has asked this committee with cost specifics on replacing mulch in some of our common areas with rock, because we have to replenish the mulch about every 2 years, and it's a major cost factor. And we're hoping to make some adjustments with that. And as you all know, it's getting cooler, the days are getting shorter, and none of our landscaping needs as much water as it did in the middle of summer, so our landscape contractors are adjusting watering times, and it's a good time for we homeowners to take that note and adjust our own watering schedules at our homes. We meet on the third Tuesday at 1 p.m. at the RCN. Come check us out. And I like to have people who want to walk with us to fill out an application. That doesn't mean you're immediately accepted, but give us a try.
That's all right. Next is rules and regulations.
Hi, I'm Donna Lewis with the Rules and Regulations Committee, and Barbara had a previous engagement, so she's not able to be here today. So currently we were reviewing the clubs, groups, and classes in our community guidelines on pages 4, 5, and 6. And as needed, we're working with Cindy Graves, the activity director. Our goal is to ensure that all season's activities are listed under the correct heading, whether you're a club, a class, or a group. And we do have guidelines in effect for each of those. And so we also want to ensure that each club, group, and class is conducting business under the guidelines and that they're following the guidelines that are set. And they've been set for a while. Recently, in September and October, we were reviewing Civil Code 4515, non-commercial solicitation. This has to do with residents being able to use our common areas, or say our ballroom, et cetera, our rooms for certain meetings. And it actually states new civil code effective January 2018. It's simply on meeting with other members, residents, and their invitees or guests during reasonable hours and in a reasonable manner for statutory specific purposes. We have submitted the proposal to Eric Bazar, our general manager, October 9th after our meeting, and we will be submitting to the board in November. It was not in time for today's report today. We did discuss Exhibit F, which was directed to us on Monday, and we had some good input, and the Rules and Regs Committee would like to ask for a recommendation from the board for an ad hoc committee to be formed to review Exhibit F. We do have a few proposed members at this time that we're asking, and we are again asking for a recommendation from the board on that. The representatives of that we're asking for is a few representatives from both the Architectural Committee and the Landscape Committee. On the Rules and Regulations, we are requesting that Barbara Miller and Donna Lewis be on the ad hoc. And for residents, we have Bob Farmer and Doug Dupree. And the Rules and Regulations meets the second Tuesday of the month at 9 a.m. in the RCN conference room. We have a need for new committee members, and so who are committed to a 2-year term. So if you're really interested in what's going on here in our community, please come join us, and we do have space for you.
Address the request for the ad hoc committee. Let me motion. Well, you want to do that now? Sure. Who's the ad hoc committee? I'll make a motion that we approve the ad hoc committee to look into Exhibit F.
Second then.
Another discussion. Let's make sure we understand the charter of the ad hoc committee. It's to identify how we can make Exhibit F both legal and a minimal negative impact on the entire community. We already have a proposal out to keep Exhibit F as is, and we also have a proposal out to eliminate Exhibit F as is. What we don't have, what we're looking
but we have already looked into a little bit of this, and we would start with our CCNRs. And if people here don't know what our CCNRs, they are our governing documents here. So we would begin with our CCNRs, what we can and what we cannot do with Exhibit F. We as residents here have to realize that our CCNRs have a lot of, for number one of the main things is that we have to comply with any government regulations that are put in. So any lots here have to comply with the city of Beaumont. So we would start with our CCNRs and we work from there and take a good look at our CCNRs, and from that, have everybody really research this and find out what we can and what we cannot do with Exhibit F.
So all in favor of the committee?
Aye.
Carried.
Thank you. Next is the safety committee.
Hi, I need to work with the safety committee. First of all, I want to say thank you to Hugo and Sapphire for really helping us get our AED training items for our meeting that's coming up. We have safety committee is presenting the AED and CPR training next Monday, 11 o'clock in the morning here, and that is going to be with Kim Nelson, who is from San Gregorio Hospital. So thank you for that. We have a sign-up sheet, and even though people say that they may have already taken the CPR training and AED, it's a refresher is always good. So just come in at 11 o'clock and please sign up. In any event, this will be great. Crosswalk safety. It has already been brought up by residents here about the speed. You know, each time we come up and safety, we talk about speed. What's going on with the speed of the residents, guests, and also vendors that are coming in. So we would like for everyone to really go out and say, watch for walkers, watch for the people that are crossing over, watch for the people that's in the crosswalk. Everybody may not be in a designated crosswalk, but also be aware and be sure and slow down. Just to let you know, coming in January, we will be having probably some enforcement in you. So just, if you really stop and tell people, slow down, then perhaps the enforcement may not come in. But I think it's going to happen. Also, can I talk about the town hall?
Now, that'll be the ambassador. Thank you, Nita. Next is the...
Sorry, we meet the first Tuesday of each month at 10 a.m. in the RCA.
Next is subcommittee, which we go with Anita. So, Anita, back to you with the committee ambassador. You're getting in your steps.
Okay, all right, community ambassador. One thing that's really great on Monday, October the 25th, here in the ballroom, the city manager will come in. He is going to talk about Melrose and also the all of the exciting things that are happening in Beaumont. But this is an extension of the meeting that was held at the city hall. So mark your calendar, and we want to say thank you to ballroom dance and people that are about to come in at 6 o'clock in that evening. Wednesday, November the 14th, there are flyers that we have out. The San Gregorio Historical Society will be coming in at 10 o'clock, and they are absolutely wonderful. We live here in this city and in the past area. There's some amazing things that have happened here in the past. So come and get an idea of where you live, what happened, who the people were, and going right into that, the Beaumont Library director was here yesterday, and at It's a very historical place, so come out and go over to the library. There are a lot of things that's happening here. On November 14th, coming here at 10 a.m. And last but not least, remember to vote. By the time we have our next board meeting, it will be all over. So familiarize yourself with all of the propositions and go and exercise your
Here's the thing on the Monday, the 25th, that is not actually the 25th. The 25th is Thursday, so.
Thursday the 25th, then. It's October the 25th.
Thursday.
Thursday, October the 25th. It is the 25th. The 25th. Thank you. And thank you for that correction. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the activities director report.
All right. Let's see. Let's do the social committee thing real quick. Murder mystery. Oh my gosh. If you have not gotten your tickets for the murder mystery masquerade, it is going to be a blast. It is going to be a blast, and you will be bummed that you did not do it. We have a professional company that's going to be coming in of actors and so forth, and they're really going to kill somebody. And who knows? It might be someone you know. So, we might be. And it's only, how much is it? It's $30, right? It's going to be so great, and the appetizers, oh my God, that they ordered. So great. If you have been to the art fair that we just do with showcasing all of our classes and everything, everybody always compliments the appetizers because they are awesome high-end appetizers. Social committee was hooked up with my people. So just to let you know, they're going to be really good and fun and yummy. So if you haven't gotten them, you only have until, what's the last day? Let's say next week. Let's say next week. So get them. What?
I think it said Sunday in the daily report.
I think, Barbara, you're right. Thank God you're in here. Okay, so next Sunday for sure. All right, tickets. Oh gosh, New Year's Eve. You have no excuse for not having an outrageously great time for New Year's Eve. And yes, we have already put our order in for 25 confetti cannons, sorry, cleaning company. Okay, so it's going to be powerful. Going to be so much fun. It is, what is it? It's New Year's in New York in Times Square. That's it. In Central Park. And it's going to be so neat. So I dare you to come to that one too. Because that's going to be a good one. And you can just roll home. You don't have to worry about traffic. So it's always great. And we generally do the drop of the ball. We're actually doing the drop of the ball. Yeah. So at least for a couple of times though. So if some people poop out, they'll still feel fulfilled that they're bringing in the New Year's if they have to get their jammies on by 11 or something. So you're good on that. Food, delicious. All right, and it's $60. Oh, everybody always loves DJ Tony. We get barraged with people requesting him, and we are getting him this year. This might be his last year, so make sure you do. All the glow toys will be available. You know how we all find up the glow toys on New Year's Eve. So, oh yeah, don't miss it. You'll be sad. October 8th, my events. Harvest Craft Fair, or whatever we're calling it, boutique. Everybody also knows about this, that if you want to have excellent, unique gifts for the holidays, definitely come. It's on the 20th. We have 60 vendors. That's a lot. That is a lot of resident crafters who are making all kinds of the most incredibly awesome stuff. So at least come in, it's 9 to 2. The outsiders are invited too. Okay, so get your parking place and come on in. You'll be coming through this door and then exiting out that door. But that'll be a blast. No fee for entrance, but you don't want to miss out on all the good stuff. Also wanted to let you know, HOA-wise, another great thing you need to put down in your calendar. November 11th is what? Veterans Day. Yes, it totally is. And this is going to be a really awesome Veterans Day. We have March Air Force Base Museum bringing in uniforms from the last at least 100 years, probably more than that. We're going to have the coolest display of uniforms, and we actually even have several residents also who are going to be donating for the event some uniforms too. It's really going to be neat the way they're curating it, and we even get free guards over the uniforms. Yes, that's how great they are. 4 o'clock is when it starts, and then over in this first section is going to be all the really bitchin' uniforms. And this section is going to be sitting for the program. And we have the fantastic Rosa Galarza. If you have never heard Rosa Galarza, be prepared for goosebumps. I kid you not, she's really good. She belts out the most amazing, heart-swelling music, so don't miss that. Sea Cadets will be here to do the posting of the colors, and they are not only adorable, but just so awesome to watch. And then, of course, no event is complete without food. So third section, there's going to be refreshments as well. It's only an hour. Take time, 1 hour, to just remember those that have given so much and to honor those who are here with us who also gave so much. Yes, we love our veterans in Four Seasons, that's for sure. Also, talking about remembering, want to let you know, if anyone was here in 2006 to 2008, we had an important board member, Dick Barnaby, who helped lay the foundation, the financial foundation of this HOA. And he has recently passed away, and we are going to be remembering him. And in that little memorial garden between the end of the lodge and the RCN, that little rose garden, that has been turned into a memorial garden. And as board members go on to the great beyond, we are putting plaques up in just remembering them. And because he was involved with finance, of course he's getting a special green rose put in there for money. So there you go. So make sure to take a look at it. Yeah, please. When is it? It's not really a public placing. Nancy, his wife, did not want a public affair. So check it out by the end of the month. It'll be placed, and we're just going to do it and remember him. But you can take a look at it. Yeah, take a look at it. It'll be neat. Then I'm doing a lot of ums. That's so bad for public speaking. Have you noticed? I'm almost done now. Hot Rock Group is going to be having another trivia night, right, Joe?
Right.
That's right, and they are going to be holding it on November 4th at 6:30 in the RCN. That has been a big hit, hasn't it, you guys? And you're welcome to bring your own snacks. Other than that, I think we're good. We do have, you'll see it in your breeze. What?
December 11th.
That's December. I'm going to totally showcase it in November. Yeah, but yes. Magic is coming, you guys. Magic is coming. But another magical thing, there is a special presentation in the lodge. Sign up for it so we know whether we're stand great room with that big showing. We have a special director named Dan Healy who makes documentaries. And he was the one that made the Finding Joshua documentary of the little boy who had autism and was found in the San Bernardino mountains. He had escaped and found, and it was a big news story a few years ago. He created a documentary, and it's become a big hit, both in the autism community, because it helps identify some of their specific issues. And as we all know, autism is on the rise big time. So they'll address a little bit of that. But for you photographers and filmers, it's also going to be especially interesting because Dan is going to be reviewing some of the tips and tricks that he used in actually creating the documentary. So it might be helpful while you're doing your own projects. So that is going to be on November 2nd at 6 p.m. Please fill out the sign-up sheet on the lobby just so we know where we're going to be having it. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Cindy. Next up is the management report on page 69 to 77, and also communications on page 78 through 84. There's no actions for board review. Are there any questions or concerns? Okay, there's no unfinished business, so next up is new business. Starting on page 85 is a proposal from the Facilities Committee for redoing the exercise room floor. This is the room with all the equipment. It's not the aerobics room floor. That's a project that they're working on. So this is just for the exercise room itself. Total cost to replace that floor is $18,310.24. This is a reserve expense. It will be replaced with Rexport heterogeneous PVC flooring with welded seams to protect from moisture and infiltration.
I make the motion that we approve the replacement, the total for the floor replacement, $12,690. I'm sorry, $18,310.24.
Second. Okay.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the small building fitness center flooring replacement for a cost of $18,310.24. Before we vote, I have a question for either Bruce or Barry. The reserve amount and the replacement amount quite apart. Is this going to be the case for things going forward through the increased cost of labor or parts? Or, in other words, is our reserve account underfunding some of these replacements?
The answer to your question is yes, there are increases in materials, labor, and everything to go with items that are in the reserve. We will be having a full reserve review next year. We'll be looking at that. But currently, the one thing is we're still at about 126% funded.
Right. I understand we have the funding there, so I just want to make sure that when we do our update to the reserve account, the
Well, the other issue, like this particular one, is the flooring that was in there is probably not of the quality it should have been. It was individual piles, they're coming up with causing safety issues. What we would like to put it in is walk-in panels. It's all one piece, giving one scheme in it, and the thickness and durability such as probably better suited to that kind of facility. So there's probably a little bit of a variance because of
Okay.
quality.
All those in favor of the proposal? Aye. Proposal passes.
Thank you. Next, also from facilities, is the proposal to replace roller shades. There will be 14 shades in the ballroom that will be replaced, 7 in the craft room and old computer room, 8 fitness center and 3 in the aerobics room. Total cost is $5,664.30, and again, this is another reserve expense.
I'll make a motion that we approve $5,664.30 for the replacement of the shades.
Second. Discussion. Been moved and seconded that we approve the proposal to do replacement of the roller shades at a cost of $5,664.30. All in favor? Discussion. You have a question? Who does? I do. Oh, I'm sorry. Another question. Kind of curious, in the proposal here, I don't see in the proposal where the shades that are going along here are actually blackout shades. And it was my understanding that the proposal was supposed to include blackout shades for these windows here. They are?
They'll be blackout. I don't know how it's written on there, but they are blackout shades.
Okay, because it's not written on here, that's all I'm asking.
Okay, yeah, they're blackout shades.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure. Okay? All those in favor of the proposal? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. Next is a proposal from the landscape committee on pages 101 through 102 for plant installation at the courts driveway. Put in geraniums, total cost will be $1,240.
Mr. Chairman, I request that this be withdrawn. We're rethinking that plant material at this time.
Okay? Pass on that.
Next up from landscape on pages 103 through 104 is for plant installation on a white sands house. Total cost would be $759.50.
Is it one particular house?
What's that?
Is it one particular house, you said?
It's a front yard.
It's in the front yard cost center. Other homes were done previously, and this would continue that plant palette down through that portion of the street.
I'll make a motion to approve $749.50 for landscape 281 White Sands.
Second. Any discussion? Moved and seconded that we approve the recommendation of the landscape committee for 281 Sands front yard at a cost of $749.50. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Next is a proposal again from landscape committee on pages 105 through 106 to install trees at Mesa Verde and Fairmont Park for a total cost of $1,101.
I'll make a motion that we approve $1,101 for to add 2 crepe myrtles, the corner of Mesa Verde and
What size are
Fairmont Park.
the trees? That's ridiculous.
That's expensive. They're normal size, and
What's normal?
I would think a 24-inch box. But don't quote me on it because I'm never sure what that's what's recommended for most of the places.
There's 12 5-gallon piss forms, there's 2 24-box crepe myrtles, and there's 3 cubic yards of mulch.
How many kids form?
12.
Yeah.
And then your labor to put it in.
And there was, it's just to restore that last slope because the addition of new homes in that area, it left that slope less up to our standards. It should be a long-term solution to that particular area.
I'll make a motion then for to approve $1,101 for corner of Mesa Verde and Fairmont Park.
Been moved and seconded to approve the request from the landscape committee for adding 2 crepe myrtles in the corner of Mesa Verde and Irvine Park slope for $1,101. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
page 107 is a vote from management for the member mixers. We've done member mixers here in the past on a quarterly basis. This would, with all the committees, this would reduce that in size at either the 4th or the 7th, because they have a couple of committees at that time. That would still be done quarterly, 4 times a year. Total cost would be $500 annually.
I'll make a motion to approve the $500 for the committee membership drive meetings at different locations throughout the year.
I say, it's been moved and seconded to approve the management committee membership mixer request for $500. Any discussion? Motion carries.
Next on page 108 is a request from Kiwanis Club to have the winner wish begin the year. There's no cost to the association, and it's always been well participated to benefit children and families in the past area.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we approve the 2018 Winter Wish program for the Kiwanis.
Okay. Moved and seconded to approve the 2019 winter wish from Kiwanis. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Next on pages 109 through 123 is a proposal from the Tales and Trails group for a fundraiser walking along with the dogs here, so that they get their own humane society. It'll be on March 16th, 2019.
I'll make a motion to allow Tales and Trails to do a fundraiser second week in October.
Second in March.
March
19th.
They'll verify that,
Okay.
Actually, that bottom part isn't right. That's from
the previous slides.
yeah. So
All right.
it's actually March. March
March,
2019.
March 16th.
March 16th.
All right, I'll second the fundraiser for Tales and Trails.
That's the winter segment of the community life fundraiser for Loma and Society Tales and Trails on March 16th, 2019. I have a question. I look at the trail map, and you virtually close off the entrance and exits to Four Seasons by the Parade Road. I think it needs to be revised so that it only impacts one of the entrances, not both of them. So who's ever organizing it, can that be done? I think you can certainly came through phase A for an equal amount of distance, but without actually impacting either one of the entrances or exits.
I don't think that the route that's suggested affects either entrance.
Yeah, well, the map that they did shows that it goes out by the traffic circle here, loops down the traffic circle, comes back down to Green Creek Trail. So you're going by both of the traffic circles that are entrances and exits. I know but you're coming back in by Green Creek, yeah. And actually, if you went down in through the inner circle and then crossed over to the outer circle and came back around, you wouldn't impact any of the traffic circles. So if you take a look at that, I think it would achieve your purpose of impacting people coming in and out because, as you pointed out, they don't slow down. So, all in favor? All in favor? Motion carries.
thank you. Next is the proposed holiday hours for 2019. Which would stay the same as this year, but we like to get that in and approved so we can make the calendars for next year. So the only days that all facilities will be closed will be the same as this year. Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. There are reduced hours for some holidays, and the management office is closed on others.
Make a motion to accept the holiday hours for 2019.
Moved and seconded to approve the holiday hours for 2019. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next on page 125 through 126 is proposal to donate clocks to the Emergency Operations Center, keep it on Zulu time. And all communications are tracked and tagged as Zulu and not at a specific time zone.
I'll make a motion that we approve the donation with no fiscal impact
For
for the Homeowners Association, for the Zulu Cross.
For the EOC clock. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request for a donation of the clock to the EOC. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next on page 127 and 128 is a proposal to reimburse an EPC member $260 for a battery for the emergency operation lights.
Make a motion to reimburse. Who are we reimbursing?
I believe it's as of now.
Al,
Who built this?
Okay, for the $260 for the battery he purchased for the association.
I'll second that.
moved and seconded to approve purchase of the Fuller ADMD cycle battery for the purpose of powering the emergency lighting system. Any discussion? This way we will be able to see the clock.
See it.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. And lastly, on page 129 through 131 is a proposal to purchase signage next to the DOC, ICC, which is the Incident Command Center, which is a accomplishment.
I'll make a motion that we approve the posting of the ICC Incident Command Center signage.
Can you do a cost not to exceed?
We can do a cost not to exceed. I mean, it should be a fairly small sign, I would think, $50.
Not to exceed? Okay, so not to exceed $50.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the ICC signage at a cost not to exceed $50. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And that concludes.
Concludes our business. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Adjourn.